I'm with Professor Marianne Lewis, Dean of Cass Business School. Marianne, you're a recognised thought leader in organisational paradox, conducting research with some of the top organisations in the world. But what's the value of a paradox lens in light of Brexit?
A paradox lens helps us think about tensions differently. And in particular, it helps us think about paradoxes, which in my view are wicked tensions. The difference between a paradox and a traditional tension is its persistence. These are interwoven contradictions. So if we think about organizations and leadership, these are challenges like we must be profitable and responsible. We need to be thinking for the short and long term. We need to be acting and focused on the local and the global. We need to be efficient and innovative. The list goes on. The challenge, however, that I find with organizations is that our natural tendency, and this is particularly the case in more Western cultures, is that we tend to approach tensions as either-or dilemmas. We lean very heavily towards one side or the other. But because these are two sides of the same coin, that kind of defensive response can actually fuel vicious cycles. Instead, what I find is that we need paradoxical leadership. We need approaches that are both and in nature.
So how do leaders and individuals resolve the paradox?
Well, what is particularly challenging about paradox is that we must come to grips that you don't resolve them because they don't go away. Rather, we learn how to live and thrive and learn with paradox. So in the case of Brexit, the paradox that I find most acute is this local-global tension. So I've heard it posed as the globalization paradox. In some ways, what this means is the more interconnected, interwoven, interdependent we become on each other in the global world, the more we simultaneously feel this pull to be different, to emphasize our distinctions, whether it be cultural, our sovereignty, our identities. And this tug of war exists between the global and the local. If we focus too much, in this case, one of the cases we've seen, is we focus on the global. We say, how do we pull together? We know that we need to be working together to make a better world, that we need to be collaborative, that we benefit from all of our different perspectives on these complicated issues. But often what is the case is that this centralized approach, this emphasis on globalization becomes more focused on rules and controls. We lose the bigger and the stronger connection, which is shared purpose, that we want common things. In the case of Brexit, I mean, the themes are consistent. I mean, and it's interesting to me, but also not surprising that you hear the same calls on the different sides of the debate. We want a safer, more economically thriving community for all. But we do become mired in rules and controls, and the result is this feeling that individual, and particularly different voices, aren't heard, that actions aren't taken.
Do you see this paradox at work within Cass?
Oh, very much so. One of the things, if not the item, that most attracted me to Cass is this cultural diversity and inclusive environment. It's vibrant. At last count, our alumni, students, and faculty come from about 160 countries. I mean, that's remarkable. And that diversity changes and enriches the conversations you have. It changes and enhances the learning in the classroom through our research and through our intersections and interactions with industry. And it's not always easy because those differences fuel their own tensions, but we learn from them. And it changes the way we think and expands our perspectives as individuals and as a collective. So for me, this is a challenging opportunity that's going to help us moving forward.
Marianne, thank you for your time.